Hello, this is Ryan here, back from school and the World Youth Chess Championships in South Africa, Durban. Now, you might not have been following Team USA during the long trip there, but I got the bronze medal in the U12 section, and I was really happy with my performance. And there were two Americans who got medals. There was an American girl who got gold medal in U12, and then I'm the boy who got bronze medal in U12. So a lot has been going on since my last video, and school has just started, so I wasn't able to make any postings. But now that I've settled in school and I've catched up with everything I needed to do after the World Youth, I am all set and I can try to keep up videos. So I just wanted to show you a really exciting game from the World Youth, and it was between me as black and Martin Nebbia as white. Martin Nebbia was a slightly lower rated player than me, and he was from the Czech Republic, but in the World Youth you can't let your guard down, so everybody is good. And by the way, I finished with 8.5 out of 11. I lost to the eventual champion, and I'll be posting some more games on the World Youth, maybe one or two. My last game against an Indian boy, Ram Arvind, and yeah, and some other cool games. Also, I'll be posting more on the U.S. Chess League. I made my debut 2 weeks ago, and I lost to the team lost to Dallas, but I'm going to make my second appearance against LA, and I'm very excited. So on with the game. I was expecting an e4, but he surprised me and played c4. So I just played my normal e5 line, and all these moves are normal. There's one part of the game though which I think is very amazing. So I'm not going to go through the opening too slowly. I just want to show you how that position came to arise. He did make a few mistakes though. So this is all normal. Rook b1 is trying to push your pawn to b4, so I stop with a5, and now he still wants to play b4, but since I'm guarding it twice, he plays a3, so now b4 is possible. And I can't stop b4, but I want to develop my pieces, especially my bishop to e6. But if I move my bishop to e6 now, knight g5 will come, and it's very annoying. And say I go bishop d2, he can play like something like knight d5, and if I try to push the knight back, he can go to e4. So instead I played h6, which is the normal variation, and bishop e3. I would call this move an inaccuracy. Usually the line goes like this with a takes, and then b5, and like bishop b2, and you know, it's a game. You're going to play maybe knight e1 to c2 and just put pressure on my pawns and the queen side with this long strong bishop. But instead so he plays bishop e3, and I just said why I didn't play bishop e6 because of knight g5, but now he plays bishop e3, and now I pounce on my opportunity and play knight g4. Now that bishop is very vital to his position, so he cannot lose it, so he plays bishop d2. Now to me, this is just a loss of a tempo for him, because now I get the move f5 in, and with f5 I'm starting a dangerous attack. He can't really stop my impending f4. Usually you'd have the knight already on e1, like say knight e1, and then say bishop e6 was played and this might have been a position, he would usually play f4 himself to stop me. But since his knight is on f3, there's no real way he can stop me on playing f4. And even if he plays h3 and knight f3, I'm still going to play f4. Knight e1, trying to play f4, I go there first, and this is just better for me. Even though this is a pawn sacrifice, I have monstrous compensation for it. For example, I can take here and probably play knight h5, and my queen's coming to g5 and h4, and his kingside's very dangerous. So he didn't do this. Instead, he played queen c2, which is another inaccuracy. Queen c2 just misplaces the queen, and if his knight ever moves back, knight d4 will come in, and it'll attack his queen and his king side. Instead, I would have played maybe b4 to try to get some queenside play going. As black, I would probably play g5, but this is better than what he did. I try to trade off some pieces. I try to push this knight back first, and then try to make a move in the center, like maybe d4. And even though he might be slightly worse, this is still a game. He's going to play f4 and e3, or maybe even f3, and he's going to undermine my pawn structure. Instead, though, he played queen c2, and I played g5. I didn't want to rush with f4 yet, because I didn't really want to give him this nice e4 square for his knight. Although I can probably play knight f6 here, I want to prepare my f4 push, so I played g5, and now b4. He might have wanted to start thinking about something about his king side. H3 probably was vital here to try to get that knight away. And after knight h, and he has to play something like knight h2 to try to play f4. If I play f4, he has to play g4, and even though this position is bad for him, he can still hang on. e3 is coming, and knight e4 and knight d5 is coming. It isn't really clear what black can do here. Instead, he plays b4, and I think this might be a bit too late. After f4, his position just comes crashing down. He can still play h3, but now after knight f6, his g-pawn is permanently weakened, and I have ideas like knight h5, putting pressure on it. So he plays e3. That's an okay move. So I want to bring my knight to f5. I can't do that through d4. So I play knight e7, and the point of bringing the knight to f5 is it will put pressure on his newly weakened e-pawn, so yeah. b5, I'm not sure why I did that. He should play b5 when he's just trying to like go for the center, but right now I think he had to play maybe even h3 here, but probably something like knight e4. I think that also d4 is a good idea. d4 is always good when your opponent is attacking you because you need to open up the center and help your pieces try to defend. With d4, it will really expose the awkwardness of my pieces, having a knight on e7, a queen on d8, a bishop on g7. My pieces are kind of misplaced, so with d4, he'll kind of exploit that fact. I would have probably played knight f5 and continued, probably take, but I'm sure that this is much better line. Knight e4 hangs e3, but say this, this is much better than the game continuation, and he might be okay there. He plays b5 instead, and I really don't understand that. I just continue with knight f5, and he plays h3. So now, on h3, I had a decision to make. I missed a very good move here for black. You can pause your video and see if you see it. But I'll just tell you now. The move is knight takes f2, and after rook takes f2, black will gain like a really monstrous attack here. Of course, this one loses a piece, and I just won a pawn. But if he played king takes f2, then I could play knight takes g3, and then just crash in with g4. And the position is almost lost for him. This is just a lot to bear. My rook's eyeing his king. There are a lot of pieces around his king, and he just can't handle this. Instead, though, I played knight f6 and g4. Now I had a big decision to make. Should I play knight h4, knight e7, or f takes e3? Sorry. Pause your video and see if you can find the move I played, because this move like revolves around the game. The outcome of the game will be probably decided on this move. So you can pause your videos and see if you can find the move I played. Knight h4, knight e7, or f takes e3. So I played f takes e3. I was thinking of knight h4, although this is a very bad move. I was thinking knight h4 because I wanted to bring my knight to g5, but this plan is way too slow, and after something like knight e4, he'll have an advantage and over half a pawn advantage because my pawns are horribly placed. Knight e7 was also another interesting variation, but after d4, I thought my position would just collapse because all my pieces are now back and my queen cannot even move. My knights can't move. Like, this e7 knight is completely dead. It can't move anywhere. My knight on f6 is almost dead because it can't move anywhere, and my position's just horrible. He'll slowly play rook a1 or rook e1, and e takes f4, and knight e4, and my position will just come crashing down. So I had to play f takes e3, and now knight g3. As you can see, my knight is trapped here, and this was a big risk for me. Now, there are a number of options here. He played rook e1, which might have been the losing move. If rook f2, I would have played bishop takes g4 and knight takes g4. And I have two pawns in a rook for 2 pieces, because this rook is trapped and I'm getting a next move. And I thought that position was better for me. If rook c1, I thought to sacrifice on g4 again. And the point is that he doesn't have a number of good ways to defend it, because after like knight h2 or something and bishop h5, I didn't see a good way to try to parry my threats. I'm not sure if this is what I would have played. Oh, yeah, sorry. I would have played e4 here. And this is the computer recommended move. If knight takes e4, knight e2 check. And if d takes e4, knight takes g4. So, you have to throw the move e4 in because this bishop is now a monster. His knight can't come to e4. His bishop is blocked in, and his queen can't come to defend. And now this is almost winning for me also. This is much better because after his knight moves, say to e1, I'm going to play bishop e5, and this bishop is imperial. It can't be moved, and if like knight d5, trying to play bishop c3, I have knight e2 check. And this is just much better for me. I can move my rook to f2 and the game is almost over. So he played rook e1, but there's a problem with that. If let's say he played rook c1, he always had the option to, let's say I played bishop d7, which is a horrible move. He always has the option to play bishop e1 to trap my knight. And this is a very important factor because with rook e1, his bishop is like immobile. If he wants to move it back, he has to move it to c1, which disconnects the rooks. And now he's sorry. So here he's threatening king h2, trying to trap my knight. I had a big decision here to make, cause well, my first thought in this position was to play knight takes g4 and bishop takes g4, because now that he doesn't have bishop e1 and bishop h5, I thought his pieces were kind of trapped. But then I saw that after something like knight e4, he could parry my knight away. I think that here I have a forced, no, never mind. So h5, and this is the best practical chance, and it's almost winning for black. If he takes on h5, then his king is dead, and after knight takes and g4, he's busted. So after h5, if he takes, knight takes g5, then this is also just winning. I don't know the quickest win, but this seems really nice for me. It's probably losing for white. So he only has one choice to play, and he's really putting me up to the test with king h2. Now my knight has nowhere to go. If I play h4, he's just going to let it sit like that, and I have no way to try to break through except for bishop takes g4, which seemed like a good idea, but I wanted something more forceful. I didn't want him to have the time to gather up with like knight e2 or something and take my dangerous knight. So I had to play h takes g4, and I had to see the ending position all the way to here. This is the start of the like 10 move sequence, which ends the game for him. Sorry. So h takes g4, and now this is the big moment, and this is what makes the game so astonishing. This is the point where the game just takes a huge turn. And pause your videos and try to find it. This is not a very easy combination to see, and don't be mad if you don't see it, because it's very difficult to see, and I didn't see it until like half an hour. Like, I was thinking for half an hour, and then I saw it, and then I thought it would be a really nice idea to play. So pause your video and see if you can find the, well, quote-unquote winning move. Okay, so I played bishop takes g4, giving up a whole knight. Now, what's the point of this? Can't he just take? This is all force, because he has to accept every piece I take. Now, after king takes g3, he's planning to play king h2, and then I'll just be down a piece. So I have to act fast, and I played knight h5 check. Okay, let's see. He can take on g4, he can play king h2 and king f2. If he plays king h2, then I just take, and he's lost. Like, this doesn't even need a... Yeah, okay. The computer says queen takes f3, so he's probably lost. If king f2, I just take and play g4, and this is also lost. Yeah. So, Okay, so he has to accept my bishop. And now his king is going to go to h3 again and hop back to safety. And I'll be down 2 pieces. So I play queen d7 check, bringing his king even further. Now he has 2 moves. King takes h5 or king takes g5. If king takes g5, there's quite a simple mate here with queen f5 check, bishop f6 check, and this is mate. So, he has to take again. And now, okay, so his king is completely trapped. There's no way to get back. But I've lost 3 pieces already, so how will I be able to try to checkmate him? Well, I had to see this move before I took the pawn on g4 when I played h5. So, pause your videos and see if you can find this move. If you want to attack the king, you have to try to move your queen to h3 or something, but of course the bishop's there. So, yeah, that's a hint. Rook takes f3. Yeah, the game is over. The computer announces something like mate in 12. I think, yeah, d4 is the best practical chance, but it's losing. So bishop takes f3, which is basically forcing queen h3 check. Now, I had to evaluate rook takes f3 for a long time because I didn't see what to do here. But after this, I found another amazing move, bishop f6 check, and the game is completely over. If king takes f6, rook why does sorry. Rook f8 check, and king e2 is going to be mate after that. So after this, I don't know why it keeps going back. Queen what? So queen h3 check, king takes g5, bishop f6 check, king takes, rook f8 check, and now if king anywhere, it's just mate after rook f5 check and queen h7. Oh, sorry guys, I have no idea. I need a recorder on Windows because the ICC on Mac is horrible. It keeps doing this. So, queen h7 checkmate. So, king g5, rook f5, king g6, queen h7 is mate. Okay, that's checkmate. So he played king g6, but it also fails to a forced sequence of moves. So queen h6 check, rook f8 check. Now the king is in the center of the board where I just need a bit of calculation and made him. So, thanks for watching this video. I'm sorry I haven't posted in a while, but I had some work to do. So now that I'm free, I can probably post more videos. And yeah, so see you. Wait. I'm not very sure with the interface now of QuickTime. Okay, so see you next time. Bye.